Let's talk about January 6th as it relates to two things. One, Congressman Louie Gohmert's comical lawsuit. And two, depriving Donald Trump of the chaos that he so desperately craves. Because shepherding everybody safely through January 6th on our way to January 20th, like justice, matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So let's talk about January 6th because there are a couple of things in the mix right now, but importantly, neither of those things has even a 0.0001% chance of derailing a Joe Biden presidency. Let's start with the comical and then let's move to the more concerning. First, the comical. Congressman Louie Gohmert. So Louie Gohmert has sued Vice President Mike Pence in a federal court in Texas, saying that Mike Pence can and should ignore the popular vote, ignore the Electoral College vote, and just declare whomever he wants to declare the winner of the presidential election. To which I respond, how is it that with all of the legal scholars, with all of the constitutional law professors, with all of the election law experts out there, how can it be that for hundreds of years nobody found this nugget? It took Louie Gohmert to figure out that the law allows a vice president to completely ignore the election results and install anybody he wants to install as president. It seems to me that had Al Gore known that in 2000 as vice president, he could have just installed himself as president. Boy, that was an opportunity lost. Where was Louie Gohmert when we really needed him? So let me end the comedy portion of today's video by simply saying that a little known fact, Louie Gohmert's middle name is Buller, B-U-L-L-E-R. True. And there is no lawsuit that is more Buller than Louie's lawsuit. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Actually, we'll be here all week. All right, let me move to the more serious and the more concerning. Donald Trump has been urging his supporters, his backers, his followers to come to D.C. on January 6th. Here are some of the tweets he's been sending out. The Justice Department and the FBI have done nothing about the 2020 presidential election voter fraud. History will remember. Never give up. See everyone in D.C. on January 6th. And of course, he has to outdo himself. He also tweeted, big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. Will be wild. So, remember a couple of weeks ago, Donald Trump urged all his supporters to come to D.C. and protest, and, you know, there were some supporters who came and protested. It wasn't a large protest by D.C. standards, and unfortunately there was some scattered violence when Donald Trump's supporters showed up in our nation's capital. But I have two observations about this. When Donald Trump sends out messages or missives or directives to his supporters, whether they be Proud Boys or Boogaloo Boys or Wolverine Boys, whatever boy bands they happen to be members of, I would caution all of those boys not to bring their firearms to Washington, D.C. Why do I say that? Well, one, I would like to avoid violence. But two, Washington, D.C. has some of the strictest gun laws in the country. I know because I prosecuted here for decades. And if you don't have a license to carry a firearm in Washington, D.C., and I can promise you that these various boy groups do not have licenses to carry firearms in D.C. because they are darn near impossible to acquire, even for residents of D.C. If you don't have a license, leave your firearm home because the police will get you. And I can say this based on my prosecutorial experience. Not only do we have the Metropolitan Police Department, that's our main partner in local crime fighting, violent crime fighting in Washington, D.C., and they are very good at making gun lockups, MPD is, but we also have the FBI, the DEA, the ATF, the Capitol Police, the U.S. Park Police, the U.S. Secret Service Uniform Division, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Postal Police, the Metro Police, the Amtrak Police, the Smithsonian Police, the Federal Protective Service. Shall I go on? So I would strongly urge all of the Trump supporters that Donald Trump has been trying to size up to leave their firearms at home. Here's the second recommendation I have. Folks who actually respect the results of the election, people who actually value our democracy, I would urge you to consider not coming to D.C. at all on January 6th. And it feels wrong, even as I'm saying it, right? Because if there is any place we should be allowed to peaceably assemble and voice our First Amendment free speech rights, it's in our nation's capital. So I make that recommendation reluctantly, but Donald Trump is looking for chaos. He's looking for violence. He's looking to create havoc. So maybe he can then take advantage of that havoc, maybe declare martial law. So I would recommend that anybody who actually values the democratic process and our free and fair elections stay out of D.C. on January 6th. Let the boy groups, the Proud Boys, Wolverine Boys, Boogaloo Boys, let them, come and kick up dust and make their noise and carry their flags and then go home without violence, without the chaos that Donald Trump so craves. Let's not give Donald Trump what he wants on January 6th. Let's let the Electoral College votes be counted, confirming Joe Biden's election, and then let's move on safely to January 20th. Let's keep our eyes on the prize. And the prize is always justice. And justice matters. And as always, folks, thank you for tuning into these daily videos. If you'd like to more formally support our all-volunteer efforts here, you can go over to patreon.com, sign up to become a patron, and if you do, I will send you some Team Justice stickers with a handwritten personal note of thanks. We have a lot of great projects and initiatives that we are working on with our Team Justice members at patreon.com. Of course, I'm also on Twitter all day and night trying to answer your legal questions at Glenn Kirshner 2. And we're on Facebook, Justice Matters with Glenn Kirshner. So as always, folks, please stay safe. Please stay tuned. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.